Alright everybody, welcome back to another Red Zone No Item World Tour led by Piccolo Jr.'s team. This time we have the Red Ribbon Army Red Zone. First fight here we have the actual Red Ribbon Army. So this is, back from whenever Goku was just taking out, Muscle Tower, I believe is what it was called. Correct me, sorry. My, memory of original Dragon Ball and just all things these days just leaves me. If I'm not looking at it constantly, my brain just says, you don't need this knowledge, and it dumps it out for other things, right? You guys, if you don't know how it is, you will learn. If you know how it is, you know how it is, right? So, this didn't take 2 attempts, but this is actually my second recording. My first one, the cord got disconnected while I was eating dinner, and I didn't notice because I was eating dinner and watching Resident Evil 2 original playthrough, not the remake. It was just normal Resident Evil 2 this time, and, Claire was, doing some things on screen, and then I look over and I'm like, oh, hey, there's the cord, I'm gonna fix it, and I fixed it, finished the run, and I was like, oh, okay, let's just see how long the cord was out. Turns out the cord was out for about, the entire run. So, if you see me, pausing and doing stuff, it's probably just because I'm either eating dinner or watching, I don't know, Resident Evil 2 playthrough. Nothing too much to talk about throughout this entire Red Zone. I think they were all first tries. I'm trying to think if there were any that were not. The 16, 17, and 18 fight, I think, might have taken 2 tries. That might have been my second attempt because, somebody got caught. I don't remember who. It wasn't Piccolo. It's never Piccolo Jr. But somebody got caught in that run. I don't remember who it was. If I remember, I'll let you guys know, but everything else was 1 attempt. I actually did fresh runs for the actual, Metal Cooler, or not Metal Cooler Core. I did do a fresh run for the Metal Cooler Core, but this one, it was the Gammas and Cell Max that I needed. Well, I didn't need new footage for, but I decided to go ahead and get new footage for them. It was probably the same teams that I used against them initially, maybe, or at least close to it. Kind of like I mentioned in the previous No Item Run video I did, and pretty much, I think I've mentioned it in all of them, but I try to keep the same core of characters throughout this entire run. If you guys want me to try different teams or different characters, let me know. I'm happy to run whatever characters you want to see in here, but otherwise I just try to keep the same core because, it's easier, I don't have to think as much, and 2, Piccolo Jr. doesn't really have that many good characters on his team, so trying to find good characters on here and mix it up a little bit is a little bit difficult, so. The Ninja Murasaki phase is fun. I'm watching this at 1x speed while the, the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone, while it exports, so, I have no idea where we're at in the video for you guys. I guess you're twice as far ahead of this as me, so maybe I probably need to be wrapping this up soon, so. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys again whenever we get to, I believe the next fight is Giro and, 19? Because Jiro's 20, right? I can never remember. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll come back with more commentary whenever we get to that portion of the fight. Alright, next up here we have 19 and 20. So yeah, it is 19 and Dr. Giro is what it says, so I can finally, get that back in my head. Didn't they give out a Android 19 for like the 2019 New Year celebration? I'm pretty sure they did. I think 2018 is whenever we got the 18 in her like kimono, and then 19 they just gave us that like SR like Android 19, which was super lame, but it is what it is. I guess I can't complain too much about a free card, or can I? I don't know. You guys let me know if I can complain about that. Android 19 could get his own like Dokkan Fest. Pretty much every character at this point, like, can get a Dokkan Fest. I think some ones that are kind of under the table that people don't think about too much are Android 19, and I think Raccoon. I actually think, like, Vegeta versus Raccoon would make, like, a nice Golden Week level celebration. And if you disagree, go back and watch that fight. That's some of the, like, best animation in Dragon Ball Z, like, period. Or maybe at least up to that point. Like, there is a lot they could pull from there, and then that would be a new Ginyu Force buff, and you guys know I love Ginyu around here, so any buffs to Ginyu would be great. I mean, can you imagine, like, a Dokkan Fest Ginyu, or not Ginyu, Raccoon on the level of, like, Dokkan Fest Piccolo Jr. or better, because he'd be coming out in the future after him, right? Like, can you imagine how good that would be? Like, give him, I don't know, guaranteed guard if there's another Ginyu Force category ally on the team or something, or, give him, like, guaranteed guard for 4 turns, then after he takes, like, 10 hits, give him guaranteed guard. Really just give him guaranteed guard some way or another, right? I mean, that's, like, the whole gimmick of Raccoon, is that you can't, like, they couldn't do anything to him. They were beating the crap out of him. He was just, like, tanking all of it. His role should be a tank, and then if they want to make him, like, build up attack by getting hit, he's the one character that it's like, okay, if you make him a tank, fine, do whatever, you can make him build up by getting hit. Just like his physical version, but actually give him, defense. Give him defense everywhere. Give him guard, give him defense, give him damage reduction. I don't care what you have to do, make that Raccoon insane. And he is a character I feel like that they would make insane, just because Raccoon isn't your typical hype Dokkan Fest. No, we're talking about Raccoon, but yeah, I think 19 has enough animations, right, that they could do a 19 Dokkan Fest, and then do a part 2, like Goku exchange into Vegeta, like Super Saiyan. I think that would be pretty cool, right? Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Let me know if you have any concept ideas like that. Leave them down in the comments below. I'll leave a comment, tell you what I think. So, anyway, that's going to wrap up the Giro and 19 fight. We will hop back in for commentary for 16, 17, and 18. Alright, next up we have 16, 17, and 18, and I think this did take 2 attempts, and yeah, it was because I brought the coolers again. Listen, the coolers, you can really feel whenever they're on, like, what is it, a 170% lead. I guess I was trying to say you can feel whenever they're not on a 200% lead, but you can really feel that, and then whenever they don't have their slot 1 aces around to really help them out, you can feel that. Because really, STR LR Cooler's role is a slot 2 unit, and then that TUR STR Cooler, his role is like a floater. So having them on rotation, or trying to run them as a rotation, doesn't really work especially whenever both your leader characters need to be in slot 2. At that point, you're just running into too many characters that need to be in slot 2, so that was kind of the issue that I ran in here, and that's why I died in the first run. But overall, nothing too crazy really happened in the second run. Again, it was nice to be able to bring EZA TUR STR Cooler, because, you know, he's supporting basically this entire fight because we're going up against multiple enemies, again, mostly the entire fight. Nothing too notable here, though, otherwise, in this winning run. I think the order that you take these enemies out in is very important. I think this time I might have gone with 18 first, just because I think she's the squishiest, and then 17, and then 16. I think you want to save 16 for last. He's probably the most predictable when it comes to when he's going to super attack, and even though you're running 2 int characters on this team, I don't think it's really an issue, as long as they're not going to get caught by him, and they have, like, the attack breaks and everything. Like, he's pretty much be prepared for 16 to super you his first appearance. Like, whatever his first attack is, just be prepared for that to be a super attack. So, the nice thing about Piccolo Juniors, right, is you can get them on with the first rotation, break all of their actions, and then just go on from there, right? And then it's also going to give him, like, 3 of his 5 build-ups if you haven't gotten any yet. So, not too bad, but overall, I would just say figure out, like, what strategy works, or, you know, like, which enemies don't try to spread your damage out, is what I'm trying to say. Like, figure out which enemy is, like, a pest for you, get rid of them first, and then kind of work your way from there. You know, figure out, it's like, okay, we can keep this enemy alive because they're not really going to hurt most of our team. We really need to get X, you know, enemy out of here. So, I think if you prioritize that way, it'll just make your runs go a lot smoother. Like, I really wanted to get 18 out of here because I knew that she could catch the coolers at any given time, whereas 16 really can't catch anybody on the team except for Piccolo. And him, I mean, even then, I'm not too worried about him catching Piccolo as long as Piccolo's in slot 2 or 3, so. And then 17, I'm not too concerned about because I think everybody on the team is type neutral to him except for Orange Piccolo, and I think Orange Piccolo can hold his own in those situations. So, anyway, that is the 16, 17, and 18 run. We will hop back in with commentary for Cell. Alright, everybody, next up we have Cell. Nothing too crazy going on in the Cell fight. I did get a little bit nervous whenever we got to the physical Cell phase, just because I don't think we really had anybody who could take it, but if you remember, it might have been in this video, or it was in... No, I think it was the Wicked Bloodline video. I was talking about this, how I like to bring Metal Cooler because his, like, revive is... I don't think of it as a revive. I think of it as a turn reset because you don't really get any benefit for reviving other than just surviving the turn. So the reason I like to bring him is because at some point in the fight, I'm going to be stuck with some strange situation where there is no good decision. And what I need to do is just have Metal Cooler die. And whenever I got the physical cell, that was that situation. I just put him in slot 1. I was like, whatever, this guy's going to die. It's going to be fine, but it's going to give me time to figure out what I want to do with my rotations, give me a little bit of time to get more set up, get like a slot 1 character or somebody who can take that punishment, you know, maybe re-roll for a different attack placement, things like that. That's kind of what that Metal Cooler, that physical Metal Cooler's attack let me do. This was a situation where I was able to bring AGL Metal Cooler, who actually is Piccolo Jr.'s best linking partner. I think they share Transform, Fierce Battle, Not Terrifying Conquest, Thirst for Conquest, and then Big Bad Bosses. I believe they share those 4 links. Transform, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, and Fierce Battle, just to reiterate those since I kind of lost track of what I was saying. Just because I can kind of hide him throughout the entire fight, and then whenever we get to STR Cell, he has type advantage, so I'm not too concerned about that. I think this was one of the fights where I actually did end it with the Orange Piccolo transformation, just because I got to the end and I was like, I really don't want to fight, you know, another 9 turns all the way back into wherever I was. So it's just like, whatever, we can get the guaranteed win. Let's just have Orange Piccolo finish it up. So this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than the other ones, just because I think we got 2 giant transformations in here, and anytime that happens, it's just, I'm sorry, but, you know, the video file is just going to be a lot longer. I could speed it up more, but, you know, I think double speed is enough. It lets you guys kind of digest what is actually happening in these videos, so if you'd like me to speed it up more in the future, let me know, but it may not be a huge problem in the future. Next up, we will come in with commentary on the Gammas, which actually was a fresh recording, so we'll have a little bit to talk about there. Alright, next up we have the Gammas. Now the Gamma fight is actually a really good fight for Piccolo Jr. Just because, you know, he has type advantage in the first phase against Gamma 2, who does hit really hard. Like, this Gamma 1, the reason why I like this as a showcase stage is because he is very tough but fair. I don't know what his exact stats are. Let me go ahead and try to look those up on the fly while we're doing this. If you go over to Dokkan info, you go to the events, I think they're in challenge. Scroll down to the very bottom, you can find the Red Ribbon Army Red Zone, and then if you go to the stage, we want the Gammas, you click on the little red icon with the stars, that's like kind of the stage, it tells you. So yeah, Gamma 2 comes out of the gate swinging with 360,000 attack stat normals. That may not seem too crazy for some units, but that you can definitely get caught, you know, with him doing that much damage. And then keep in mind that he is actually doing more damage to extreme class characters, so Piccolo Jr. is at a bit of a disadvantage here because he is class disadvantage. You know, most of the Red Zone stages, extreme characters are pretty good because they're not class disadvantage. This is the one fight where it's up against a tough super class enemy, and it's like, okay, you know, that cushion that we normally have with these extreme characters isn't there. It's there for our super characters now, but the characters that we really need it for, the weaker characters on the team, are actually the extreme class characters. So it's a little rough coming into this at the beginning. The nice thing, though, is that you can actually stun Gamma 2 and you can seal Gamma 1 in their first two phases, which really make it nice to build up your characters. You do pay for it, though, whenever you get into the dual stage there. They do hit decently hard, at least on their super attacks, right? Oh, and by the way, Gamma 2's super attack damage is 900,000, I believe. So, yeah, and then, again, they make up for it whenever you get to their actual, like, dual phase. However, we have Piccolo Jr., right? So he can AoE whenever we get to that last phase, break their actions, and then we can just play it out from there. Usually your characters are going to be built up by that point, so it's not going to be a huge deal. At that point, it's just like, okay, we need to make sure that... did I bring Physical Metal Cooler on this run? I don't remember if I did. I think I thought about bringing AGL Metal Cooler. I know I brought Frieza, but who else? I did bring Physical Metal Cooler, so yeah. Again, I just bring him for the revive in the events that it's just like we need a turn reset. And then AGL Frieza is fine as long as he's not getting super attacked by Gamma 2 in the final phase. So you can just kind of play around that and just he can absorb any hits that Gamma 1 may present to us. But overall, pretty simple fight. We can get rid of Gamma 2 quickly, who is the more damaging character of the two. And then we can just focus on Gamma 1 and take him out. And we have enough characters around that it's not really a big deal. So let me know what you guys think about the Gamma fight. I am pretty happy with the Gamma fight. Like I said, I'm going to add it to my normal rotation of videos. I've said that in other videos, but I just want to reaffirm for anybody who's new here or you haven't seen my other videos, the Gamma fight is going to become a mainstay rotation. I'll be getting rid of Sin or Omega in its place up until at least the 8th anniversary. Then I'm going to tack on the Shadow Dragon event, and I may add another fight there because I like to keep it even. So, you know, right now I'm doing 3 showcases on each day for each character that comes out. So, you know, whenever that fight comes out, I don't want to do like 4 and 3 or 2 and 3. I don't know. I'll figure it out, right? I'll add another fight or do something. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the Gamma fight. Let me know if you guys had trouble with this fight ever, or if you took Piccolo Jr. in here. We'll hop into final commentary with the Cell Max fight next. Alright everybody, we have the final stage here, the Cell Max fight. Now this fight is not really that hard if you have a team full of good characters, which we do here. You know, the weakest character on the team is going to be Physical Metal Cooler, and I'm not really that concerned about him here in this fight. Everybody else around here is just going to be absolutely fine. Now we do get really lucky at the very end. A dodge does save us. I forget what dodge I have on my Super Saiyan, like 2/Rage Vegeta, whatever you want to call him. He does dodge a super attack though, because I thought he was still guarding, but he actually wasn't, and I think it did save us like a little bit of damage there that we might have taken, but it would not have been run killing damage because the Cell Max just does not hit hard at all. Now, whenever I was calculating damage for him, I think one of these times I was running the event, I forgot to account for his attack raise on super attack, and that's why he was hitting a lot harder than I expected. I was like, what? It's saying that his attack is only 600,000. Why is he hitting it? It's because he has that one-turn raise whenever he does a super attack that's 30%, so that first attack is actually hitting for like 720,000, not 600,000, so that's what I was getting confused about, but no big deal, right? Let's see, nothing really else to talk about. I felt like, honestly, I could have autoed this fight and I would have been absolutely fine. The Red Ribbon Army Red Zone was definitely fun. I'm glad they added that into the game. I wish they would add a new one soon, though, like, or something, or missions for the existing ones. You know, it's like we had, we'll use the JP timeline, right? We got new Red Zone in like January, February of 2022, right? And then we had July, that was 7 months-ish, July, August for the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone, which, but let me rephrase. February, we got 2 Red Zones, okay? So, however you want to deal with that, we got 2 Red Zones in February, January of 2022. And then in July, August-ish, September-ish, we got another new Red Zone, 5 stages, not that many. About 7 months, 8 months later, we got another one. You know, that was the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone. Definitely a step up in difficulty, but still on par with the old Red Zones. Just kind of a different format, whereas the older Red Zones, you had a little bit more time to build up your characters. The Wicked Bloodline Red Zone said, be good now, and, you know, or die. And then a few months after that, we got the Red Ribbon Army Red Zone for New Year's. So, I kind of expected, we're kind of in that, like, 5 to 7-ish month window for new Red Zones. That's kind of like when they've been pushing these out. So I'm not really sure why we didn't get one here, other than they just didn't want to put one out for Golden Week, which I get, but it's like Golden Week, they've dropped new events before. Maybe they think that we have enough content in the game to hold us over at the moment, but, you know, with them only dropping one Super Battle Road stage every now and then and not really doing those in batches like they used to, and they don't really give us missions for the Goku event as much anymore. You know, they did with the Bardock celebration just because they needed some easy content. But if you need easy content, why don't you just throw some category missions to the Red Zone? Like, I don't really get it. Doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to somebody else out there. If it makes sense to you why we haven't gotten a new event yet, let me know. Maybe they're going to do one for Tanabata. Maybe Tanabata is going to be, like, future-based. Again, I know it was future-based last year, so... But maybe it's going to be future-based again, and they're going to give us, like, a crazy future Red Zone. Or maybe they're going to do that for Worldwide. You know, Worldwide's going to be double Vegito. Maybe they're going to give us, like, 2. They're going to give us the Buu Saga and the Future Saga Red Zone. At which point I'd be like, alright, you know, the content drought, that's been fine. You know, you still could have given us missions. I don't know how hard it is to program missions in here. You still could have done that. But I'm at least satisfied now. Like, I get why it's not here. Because I know this time, like, this stuff does take time to put together, right? You know, they have to compile all these animations, you know, figure out how to balance it, things like that. Like, decision-making does go into this. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. I blabbered on probably a little bit too long here. Most of you probably just want to listen to the OSTs, and I've been rambling on about Red Zone the entire fight, so... this is the end of the World Tour for Piccolo. I've taken him pretty much everywhere at this point. I guess I could take him in the more Super Battle Road stages, but I don't know if those are long enough to do a video on, but they're too long to do a short on, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do a Super Battle Road compilation if I feel like it. I think I'm going to do Physical Piccolo's World Tour, or at least try to do it, but no promises there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support on the channel here recently. Thank you for everybody who likes, comments, everybody who's subscribed up to this point. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.